Welcome again to the Entrepreneur Power Hour. Today's topic is avoiding scams on the internet. I know personally I've dealt with a lot, and I've seen a lot on Facebook. Make $1 million in 3 months, make $50,000 in 3 months. Just click a button here, you'll become a millionaire. And a lot of it is getting worse and worse now with the internet. Actually, I'd say even there's almost more scams, or at least as many, as are legit programs. And I wanted to dedicate a hangout for this to help people raise awareness of what scams might be and how to look for them. And the easiest way for me, I've found, is just to look, if it could happen in real life, like outside of the online world, then it has to be the same in the online world. Nobody's going to give you $50,000 just to click a button. But don't just take my word for it. We have Rick and Cheryl here, Carl and Doug, and I want to hear their input about this topic. So go ahead, guys, enlighten me.
Well, first and foremost, it's the golden rule of business here. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. Mm-hmm. We've all heard that before, and in network marketing especially, that is the golden rule, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, it's really easy to get wrapped up in all the hype. There's no doubt about it. But there's a lot of ways to temper that. You said first and foremost is never, ever, ever let somebody talk into buying it right on the spot. If it's something that sounds good, it's going to be there tomorrow, and you don't have to buy it right then. And if they're pushing you that hard that they have to have it done right now, it's probably something not legit about it. Or they're just somebody that's more interested in selling to you than they are about taking care of you. Now, obviously, we all learn in sales that you always want to get the commitment right then. But that's kind of changing. With the internet, that's not so much true anymore. It's evolving into more of relational, make a relationship first and then buy the product second. So if you're still trying to push that first day sale, you're probably going to lose more than you get anyway. So.
Yeah, I've seen stuff like that where they're like, oh, I'm going to take this video down. It might not be up 5 hours from now, 2 years. I see the same video. And I'm sitting there thinking, why are you trying to make... Well, are you that desperate to make a sale right away with that?
That's
even making a real relationship. And that's always been my thing. If I can't make a relationship, it's the best offer in the world, I won't do it.
No, that's because the sales training tells them that. All the internet sales training says, oh, you got to create, that scarcity. And if it's legit, it's fine. If you're legitimately offering something that's not going to last, we do nutritional products. A lot of times I'll throw up, hey, if you get in with this, today, I'll give you a discount on it. But same token, if you're going to throw the same discount up tomorrow, then don't tell them that. Just say you've got 48 hours to get the discount.
An indefinite discount, yeah. So I know, Rick, you've been in the world of internet marketing probably, even before I was born. Some of you like crazy. They don't have to mention company names, but like just crazy things out there.
Yeah. One of the most prevalent scams still today is that Nigerian bank scam, and I always, and it's really, they are bilking Americans of millions and millions of dollars a year. And when I was an email marketer, I would get those solicited emails all the time. And one of the things that one of the things that I noticed that even over the years, like there's these kids, they call them kiddie scripts. And they'll send you sort of like a spam email, and if you click on it, it says update your password to Amazon or something like that. All of those kinds of emails I just delete, and I think that's one of the real interesting things on the internet is that, like, you can just click on a link and it can just steal your password it'll take you to a crappy page. You'll put your Amazon pin in there. and password, and it'll just steal it from you. That's one of the most prevalent things that I've ever found. That and that Nigerian bank scam thing, and I've actually had people, ask me if I've ever, given my checking account information out to the Nigerian Prince of Wales or whatever he is. I never have, but that doesn't mean I haven't lost money on the internet or something like that, or that doesn't mean I haven't got scammed either. I think there's a lot of that stuff, like Kareem says out there, that you can make $1 million overnight, and if you just invest $10,000 today. And it's not just network industry, it's prevalent in all the industries. Look at the stock market industry, look at the gold industry, look at the silver buying industry. It's sort of like a marketing thing. And I really wanted to hear what you guys, like, I looked up scam and in Wikipedia, and it said like a sort of, well, my definition of it would be a shady business deal. Okay? And so I want to hear your guys' real take on how you define a scam, because I've seen a lot of scams, let's say, go around on the internet, and people make a lot of money off of these, programs or whatever, and they're not really helping anyone but everyone's pocketbook. So I don't know where we draw the line on what's a scam. And Carl, like, he's been around a while, man. Like, he would tell us. What do you think, Carl?
Most of the time, I've been involved in scams. Facebook has got a scam that they'll say, "Oh, you've been selected in some contest." I've been notified by 6 or 7 different people the same thing. They want you to turn around and pay money to have your money delivered to you. Now, that scam, they want me to pay money to have money. If I want it, just take it out of what I want it, stupids. Really. Problem is, didn't win it. It's just a gimmick to get you information. And that's what most of these scammers, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for information that they can dig deeper and get further into things. That's why they say, "Oh, you can make blah, blah, blah money." You don't know if you're going to make that money, but they got your email to keep polluting you with it. Just like autoresponders. They're great, don't get me wrong, but there's people out there that are putting bad sites that really don't make any money. They don't have a product. They're basically selling air. That's what when I first started, there was one I started with the Millionaire Academy Network with Tracy Davidson. Now, he had turned around and made it big right afterwards. He was in Zeke Rewards making $70,000 a week. And then Zeke Rewards gone upside down. He lost money. He went from there to within 90 days, he became a millionaire again. Because he just put it all back together, all the people that he'd known, what have you, through Zeke Rewards, and he also put it on his answer machine. "Welcome to the house of Tracy Davidson, self-made millionaire."
Oh, God.
He already spoke it into the universe. He already did. Well, now went over to the Philippines. He's doing Penny Matrix. Now he's doing something about. He has his own TV show, and he's making it famous over there off the Philippines. He's just shyster. That's all he is. But his program that I played, the Millionaire Academy Network, all it has was a bunch of downloadable ebooks, and if you paid a certain amount, you could get some more ebooks. And the same with Penny Matrix. They only want to sell products that aren't even products. You can go and find the very same ebooks. You could just Google it. Go in there and you can find a book, a PDF of the same thing. That they're saying, "Oh, well, we're giving you this, and you have all the seller's rights." You do? Really? I don't really think you do. I don't think they're going to give up all their seller's rights of their literature. I don't know. You write books and you write books. Are you going to give up those rights for others to take that and patent your very same stuff? I don't think you're going to do that. If you are, you're a fool, because you patented your information. You don't need somebody else taking it over. And most of these scammers, that's what they're looking for. They're looking to find information. They'll go Google you. They'll find out where you are, what you're doing, and then they'll turn around and say, oh, well, I got to have money for this. Next thing you know, you got someone saying, oh, you got to pay money for this. I mean, really? You didn't say that when it started.
Yeah,
So
I think
that's scamming.
here's what I consider a scam. I'll actually break it down and Luciano and Al are joining. How are you doing, guys? We're talking about how to avoid internet scams this week. Here's what a scam is to me. If it doesn't add any value, if it doesn't make you better off than you were the day before, if it's just recruiting you into a system and says, recruit more people and make them pay this, if it's not teaching you a skill or at least giving you some advice or how you could learn, live a better life or do your internet business better or learn better skills in SEO, blogging, has to teach you, in my opinion, some sort of skill or give you some worthwhile product. If it's not doing that, then I would consider that startup business either a scam or ineffective. It has to provide some type of value. And what I'm seeing now, and I'm sure Chris would agree with me on this, I'm seeing a lot of programs that will recruit you into something, but they don't have any. Even today, someone's trying to get me into pay to click advertising. Just keep buying, spending money to make money. Well, what am I doing? We're just shuffling dollars. It has to give you some type of real world value that you can go out and improve your life and improve your existence. Scams don't add value, real programs do. And in the power hour, I want to add real value so you can come off and say, I learned something. So it's just an open discussion, guys. So go ahead, feel free to mute or unmute and put your topics in about or your ideas in about this.
Go ahead, Sean.
I'll stop.
And Rick has some animals in the background.
Just to
There's some doves or something.
Just to add on to what you were saying there, one of the things I've realized too, especially with the influx of the internet, is that there's a lot of scams that aren't even money related.
Right.
I got thinking about it, a lot of it is informational, and I got thinking about it when Rick was saying I looked it up on Wikipedia. Now Wikipedia is a really good example because they come across like an encyclopedia, but anybody can change the information in it. So I mean, you don't have any clue whether you're getting actual, research facts or somebody just went in and made an addition to what's there. And talk about a scam when you have something that's considered a reliable source, but somebody went in and changed something to make it completely, without any background in it. It's just their opinion. That can be really dangerous. Yeah. And I'm not saying that, I understand. I look at Wikipedia too, just because I like to see they break everything out really simply so you can see what the origins are. But I never rely on it because you never know who put something in there, But there's also the other thing I wanted to bring up real quick before I forget it, which happens to me a lot. One of the scams that almost got me once, and I mean it got me so close, it was money out of my account before I caught it, was it's a Craigslist scam. Because we were actually selling something on Craigslist, and didn't even think about it, but I got some woman that answered the ad and wanted what we had, and the scam was that it was, well, I'm out, I don't live near you, I want to have it sent to me I want to send you a check to have it sent to me. I'll pay the shipping cost by check. And then you're supposed, because they can't get to you. And the thing is, though, is what they do is, and most people don't understand this. Just because you have a check in your hand, if it doesn't mean that you got the money yet. Okay, you can't. Even if you go into the bank and deposit it, that doesn't mean that it's going to clear. So you have to be careful. And we caught it in time, thankfully, because the bank said, hey, this check may or may not clear in the next 10 days. And just because you deposit it and we gave you the deposit doesn't mean that it's already cleared. And that's a scam that catches a lot of people because it's usually smaller dollar amounts.
Right.
And it's something that you're actually they're answering your own ad, and saying, yeah, I want to buy what you have. But you turn around and you ship them whatever they purchased, and then you find out that the check never clears before you send it. So it's a really good scam. I mean, and a lot of people get caught on it. So anyway, that's just one to watch out for.
I got scammed myself a number of years ago. What had happened is I was looking for a rental, and there was a house for rent right here in Lewiston, where I'm living. And the person had said they had to move overseas to go on a mission, and they wanted to rent out their house. Well, they wanted me to send $100 for a deposit, and they'd send me the keys. Well, they never sent me the keys, so I got scammed out of my $100 bill. It was that easy, as you say. It doesn't have to be business related. This was like, I wanted a house. It was on there on Craigslist, as a matter of fact. And saying, so I called up this person, and they said, well, we had to go away on a mission and for the Lord and what have you, and we had to leave our house alone, so we wanted someone to come and, take it over. I would literally got scammed out of money that time, and it was a number of years ago. I learned a lesson, but it doesn't necessarily have to be business related. You're right. Thanks, Doug.
Yeah, I agree with Doug too that you can't really rely on information, and I really feel like the educational system in this country is sort of scammy. The college system, they tell you to get an education and you can get a job, but most of the people that come out of the college system, they can't get a job, and quite frankly, they can't do a damn thing. They just a bunch of stuff that they know, but they don't really, a lot of them don't have any skills unless they went to a technical school. Cheryl and I got scammed for $25,000. And then check this out. We were first together, and we bought one of those kit homes.
The beautiful, beautiful log home that they were going to deliver and build for us.
Yep. We went to the office. We called the Better Business Bureau. There was no complaints, they told us. We went and viewed log homes that were built and people were residing in.
Beautiful.
Beautiful kit homes, right? We prepped the site. We called around, this, that, and the other thing. Nobody said anything about this guy, right? We gave him $25,000. Now, I know you're not supposed to mention businesses, Lincoln Log Homes in Washington. Because
I don't think there are any.
Yes, he did.
They informed us that, well, everybody had to pay before you get your logs, before the delivery, which sounded feasible and everything, but
there is one solution for that. Is do an escrow account.
That's true.
Anytime they're asking you to put money up front for something like that, all you say is, fine, I'll just put it in an escrow account.
Smart.
yeah.
Hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, well,
No doubt.
Yeah, that's right. He's right. He's exactly right, Doug. You always do escrow. Anything over like $1,000, put it in the escrow. I do now.
Yeah, that's the like the mousetrap for any scam artist, because they'll back off in a heartbeat if you talk escrow.
Well, we got our money back. Nobody else did. $5 million. All the other people didn't get their money back, and the attorneys contacted us because they wanted advice from us on how to get $5 million back for their clients. and I was the only one that got the money back.
Good for
But
you.
yeah, I got about 20 G's back. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, and how I did it was, an unconventional way. Information. I found out where he lives, and I went over to his house, and his beautiful wife was pregnant, and I said that I was going to move in with my wife in the next week because I didn't have a place to live, and her husband just gave him out of 25 G's. So, and I'm pretty obnoxious to live with. Let's face it. I had my money the next day. But I went to that business every day. I quit my job and went to that business every day for 2 weeks and stood at the front door and told everybody that scamming people, don't give this guy your money, But
so it cost you $5,000 to learn that lesson, huh?
Oh, that's a huge. Yeah, I escrow everything now. When I sell websites or anything like that, if they're over like $500, I make you put it in escrow, and I make the buyer pay the escrow. Hell yeah. Yeah,
I do know escrow. I haven't used it, but I know it's on Flippa.
Yep, that's where I've used it. Flippa, that's right. They have good escrow.
Oh wow. To me, if they want it only through Western Union, there's something going on there. If you can't take PayPal, if you can't take check, if it's only Western Union, to me, it's some guy sitting behind a desk like, oh boy, I can't wait till they fall for it.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of the Nigerian prince stuff, and unfortunately, he has not sent me the $1 million check.
Check is sort of moot or whatever you call it, because with ACH verification, I'm pretty sure I can just, if you give me a check right now, just give me the numbers of your account and how much you're going to write me, your $10 million check. I'll just call up my bank and tell her to ACH verify it, and she'll go, no, that guy doesn't have any money. So if you know the system a little bit, like anyone that tries to write me a check, I already know that those people don't have money, or they're really, really rich. Because I noticed the rich people here in Hawaii, they're still writing checks in the line. They don't use a card because they want to lag on their money. That's what they're doing, Yeah.
Hey, Rick, I was going to write you a check then. I'll write you a check for $1 million, and all I want from you is check for $300. I think that's a good deal. No, but
I'll buy your surfboard for $300. You can sold. Hey, Cheryl, is Rick really hard to live with?
No.
I drug her all around the world, halfway around the world into the jungles of Costa Rica, where the 6 most deadliest snakes live in the world. We lived on the side of an erupting volcano. Nah, he's not hard to live with. Where he drags me, right?
Nah. I like
that just sounds like you're not boring. I'm talking about when she's actually in the house with you.
Costa Rica was.
Rick, on a side note, that's awesome. That's metal. That is metal, like the snakes in the volcano. You should start picking up a guitar and put the distortion on, dude.
Oh yeah, jamming like.
Really hard to live with, but there's never a dull moment, shall I say that? Very few dull moments.
Sounds like
I could tell that when first time I met him. I could tell that the first time I met Rick. Then probably not a dull moment.
Well, I guess
I think my wife would agree with her.
I'm getting more empathetic because, let's say my wife was out surfing 20-foot waves. I'd be like, I don't know about that. Because, she's used to it now after 30 years of seeing me surf in Washington and Costa Rica and Florida and, and here in Hawaii, so she's sort of comfortable with it. But I don't know, for me, if I would be real comfortable if she was going out there when it was big.
I bet you wouldn't be. You wouldn't be.
Especially
you wouldn't
really swim.
You don't have
but
to
you would, on the other side of the coin, you wouldn't be comfortable doing using her blender or her sewing machine or her or what other the material items that was in the Team Seekers material item, right? And you said I will. In the end of the story, Rick says at first it was a surfboard. Then in the end of the story, it was himself. Right? Right?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. That's correct.
But that's more power to you if you can do that. But I can tell that kind of empowerment that you have over people is really awesome. It really is. I love your videos. You come across the same way with that. You know, you're empowering others. That's what it's all about. I mean,
Well,
a lot of you know.
I appreciate that, sir, and I don't really feel like I am. I feel like I'm just a hard ass, like sort of venting on.
Is that an opinion? Is that an opinion, right? That's an opinion,
Yeah,
right?
that's a judgment, Carl.
But
I like that
you
judgment.
make your own.
This is a
Don't put yourself
judgment-free
in the little
environment.
box.
That's right.
Don't put
Oh,
yourself
another
in the little
one.
box.
I love it.
No little
So, hey,
boxes.
Kareem, we've got some new people here. How about is
Yeah,
Luciano
make
or
them
Al
talk.
or
Yeah. Now I know Al's at work, so I'm not going to make
Okay.
him actually talk so he doesn't get in trouble. But
Hey, how you
Luciano,
doing, guys? What's up?
hey, I can hear you
Let me
this
turn on
time.
the camera. Give me a second.
All right.
All right, there you go. What's up?
There he
Talking
is.
about people
yeah, I was
trying to
actually
steal
I
our
was finding
money
everything
for the
kind of
internet.
interesting. What's up is that when it comes to scams, you can actually see them fairly easily. It's not terribly hard to actually go see past that, you know. But yeah, it's a good thing to actually be aware of. What I've been doing with my clients is typically I'm actually taking 50% before and 50% after, you know, the deal is completed, you know. So actually, if I see that everything goes smooth with that, then I can actually start trusting them. If there's any complication, you know, I just don't waste my time, and I don't really pay a lot of attention to people that is potentially either is going to scam me or how do you call this, that they're going to be hard clients, you know. It's one of those things, like, might as well just let them go, right?
Right. Why waste your time?
Exactly.
I'm a hard client.
Yeah, you are, but anyway.
I know. But anyway, sometimes I think they're easy to see. Like the Nigerian prince is not hard. But sometimes they can get really creative. Like they look like a legit business, but all they do is recruit. Kind of like what Carl was talking about earlier with like penny majors or whatever. They don't have a real product. They just recruit you. And you may get paid, but not from something that's giving you value.
Yeah, and one of the things that is interesting is, for example, there's a tipping point. You know, for example, that Beachbody. I think you did one of those training, right? You did the Insanity, right, Kareem?
Yeah, I did Insanity and P90X actually. I know it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, it was like it just takes a little bit more, right? But I know that's the tipping point where you have, like, they catch you in a service, right? And then it continues. I mean, if you become a coach there, then you're kind of stuck with them because they actually do a very good job actually making, what do you call it? Making exclusive their products, you know. So the more you consume, the better you are for them, the more benefits you get. But you have to be committed 100% to them, so it becomes like you become an employee. So
Like
it's
an auto ship. Like an auto ship, right? You know, like an auto ship. You're locked in. You've got to do that auto ship or else. You know, that's the way it is with some companies. They mandatorily make it. You've got to go. Like one particular company I was just in, the customers had to go 3 consecutive months of using their product, or else they would get a fee of $25 or $50 or whatever the case may be. I think it was $25. But nonetheless, it was like they was under a contract. Now, most customers don't like contracts like that.
no,
They
exactly.
don't like contracts. They don't. And they won't get
that's
themselves
the thing.
involved in it.
There's some industries where there is not a one and done deal. So, for example, if you want to buy screws, right, you don't want a contract to actually get screws delivered to your house every single week, right? That's ridiculous. But
Right.
you have things like memberships to like coupon discounts, right? Some people like actually cutting coupons. Some people actually would rather have somebody else cut the coupons for them and send them to their house. That could be a subscription. But then you also have things that are like coaching. I'm in music, and I know Kareem is in coaching for entrepreneurs, and that's never gonna be a done deal. It's like there's always a next level, and in music, it's like, yeah, I have a next step. The good news, I got into an opera in Seattle next in this December apparently. So it's gonna be my first professional opera, which is kind of cool. That's my next level. But then after that, what is it, right? It's like there's always a step higher. When it comes to personal development, like Kareem is doing, you get to how do you call it, Tim Ferriss. He's never gonna have a glass ceiling. That guy is just gonna keep punching through those and just trying to get to the next level. He's a human experiment.
Is there ever a glass ceiling, though? Like in life, you always want to improve.
It's mental. It's mental.
To me, even if I get like a full panel and 1 million subscribers and 1 million views, I'm getting some echoes. If you could mute. Echo. Sorry. But yeah, there's never a glass ceiling. To me, if you make a glass ceiling, you'll start to decay. Because if I say, oh, I'm in good shape now, that might be true, but I could get in better shape. I could bench more. I could learn more guitar riffs. To me, I just started a technique called sweep picking, and I started to get it. But now I'm like, ooh, I could do 3 fingers. I need to do 5. I need to do the whole neck. I need to outplay Malmsteen, which is a really good guitar player. I guess to me, with personal development or with music, like you do, Luciano, with multi-level marketing, whatever, there's never. I think if you fall for a glass ceiling and say, like, I'm content here, it causes a problem where your competition will say, oh, he's content, he's sitting back and relaxing, we can crush him now. And I think that's what happens to a lot of big companies.
Yeah, there's a saying that you're either advancing or you're declining. There's no in between. Hey, there's Chris.
Chris
What's up,
made
Chris?
it. Woo! What up, bro?
It's about time, Chris.
He was late. He was out scamming people. He's like, hey, I can make you $50,000 in 3 months. Just sign up on under my link, my capture page.
No, my internet was down because of a storm here, so yeah.
I'm just kidding with you.
Well, with all those people you just scammed, now you can buy new internet.
Yeah, I know, right? That's funny. So what's going on, guys? How's everybody doing?
We've been waiting for your wisdom, my friend.
Wow, everyone's waiting on me. Oh boy. Yeah, we had a big storm here this morning and knocked out the internet for a lot of the city, so I guess big problems today. So today, what's everybody been talking about besides what the show topic was, which we had going?
Pretty much just that. We've been talking about different ways that people do goofy things on the internet, and it's actually entertaining in a way, and it's educational because, one, some of these things are so crazy and out there, and some of them actually are believable to some extent. Like Doug was talking about a Craigslist, and we talked a little bit about the Nigerian prince thing, I'll give you $1 million, and I talked about these endless recruiting things. I'm not going to mention names, but yeah, throw your input in.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, some of the stuff that you run into, where you hear people talking about how they can make $1,000 a day or $100,000 a week. You know, when you got to educate yourself and first of all find out who these people are that are promising this. If they've done fraud or if there's, you know, do your research on these. You know, Google them, find out who they are, ask around other people on social media about these people, about the opportunity, and make sure there's an actual product. Because if there's no product, it's a Ponzi scheme. First of all, it's illegal. Um, Anything that doesn't have products, distributors, and customers, retail customers, is an illegal pyramid scheme. That's very important, I think, because there's so many companies out there that promise you money for selling video or training tools or a digital information site, and that's just not legal whatsoever. You have to have a product that goes to the end consumer and ends up in their hand. They have to receive something of value for their money. So, you know, do your research. Find out how long the company's been around, first of all. If they haven't been around for at least 3 to 5 years, don't even bother. Because most companies in network marketing or MLM don't last beyond the first 3 years unless it's a really solid company with a solid product line, a good compensation plan, people, and you know, company owners and leaders that have integrity. So make sure you do your research and you'll avoid getting scammed for sure. I think that's how I avoided it. I actually lost some money with one company, but I was quick to get it back because I have a good lawyer. So I was able to get my money back, which I was very lucky and fortunate about. But just do your research, guys, and you'll be just fine.
I agree with Chris, and I really have got so that I believe in the relationship marketing now, because the more you know somebody, the more you know about their company, you know about everything, you know, kind of how they feel and stuff, and you can kind of get a feel for just how scammy a company is. I think a lot of the network marketing things, you know, they promise a lot of stuff, but they don't really say. They'll say, yeah, you can make $300 this day, you can make $5,000 next week, but they don't say how much of the amount of that you're putting back into advertising and everything else.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things, you know, yeah, you may make a lot of money, but how much exactly are you putting back into it to get that out?
Yeah, exactly.
These guys that saying they make $10,000 a week, but they're paying at least that in, you know, to get it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for opting in and requesting more.
But I like the relationship marketing because you get to know the people, and you can kind of get an idea on how well the company will go too. You can look at it if it's a scam type thing.
Yeah, and there has to be a product. Like I say, Cheryl, you're absolutely right. There has to be products. You can't sell the business opportunity. That's not a product. You know, training modules, videos, stuff you get in the mail to sell the opportunity. That's not a product. And another thing I forgot to mention, any company that has distributors but no retail customers, that's illegal as well. Because there has to be retail customers for a company to be legal. You know, and another thing for people to watch out for is if you can't become a customer without joining the opportunity as a distributor, you run away from that as well. If the company should allow people to just sign up as customers, because 85% of your income in any network marketing company is going to come from your customer base. It's not going to come from your distributors. 15% of your people are going to want to be distributors. The other 85% are going to want to be just customers. So let them be customers, and find a company that tailors to those facts, to those numbers. You know, and you want to, if you're looking to sell and to get into health and wellness, you want a company that pays average volume on part-time people. That's going to pay you on average volume. If you got to generate $500 in volume to qualify for commissions of 15%, don't even bother, because your auto ship costs are going to be over $120 a month just to qualify for commissions in most cases. So how much money are you putting back in just to collect 10 to 15% of each order? It's not worth it. I did it with a company called It Works Global, and I was paying out more money every month than I ever got back. And a lot of people came up to me and said, well, that's the nature of the business. And I go, no, it's not. I said, if we're putting all this blood, sweat, and tears into a company, we're going out and meeting people, building relationships, and I was giving out samples of my products to people. Do you think It Works sent me those samples for free? No, I had to pay for those products that I was giving out to people. And I never saw any kind of bonus or any type of more money for giving away products. I did that out of the goodness of my heart because I wanted people to try stuff before they bought the products from me. And yeah, a lot of them did become loyal customers for a while. But the only person who stuck around in It Works Global as a loyal customer for any longer than 1 year was my mother, because she loves the products. That was one person. I had 15 loyal customers, and I had 5 distributors. I had 20 people in my organization. Because of the auto ship costs, the product costs, and the auto ship requirement, even from the customers, if the customer didn't stay on auto ship, after 30 days, they lost their perks points. Now, It Works Global offers the loyal customer perks points, where they earn a certain percentage of points for every product they buy. They can use those points to purchase products for free. After 30 days, no matter how long they were a loyal customer, they would lose those points. You tell me how that's fair to the loyal customer. I could see that being true for, let's say, a customer that's only been there for 60 to 90 days. But if a customer's been there for a year, and you take their points away after a month, I'm sorry, that's BS, and that company is BS. Not only that, but I found some very interesting facts out. Hold on, Carl, I'll get to you. About It Works. The company owner, here's another thing you guys want to keep an eye out for when you're joining a network marketing company. It Works just constructed an office that costed them $15 million. It's massive, okay? They have a racing team. They've got a Hummer with the logo on it. They have a boat with a logo on it. They even have their own private jet. Where do you guys think that money's coming from? If it has the It Works logo on it, it is tax deductible. Mark Pentecost and Cindy Pentecost, or whoever, Cindy Pam Souter, or whatever her name's, that doesn't come out of anyone's pocket within the high up in the company. That comes out of your pocket as the distributor. So think about that. Watch out for things like that when you join a company. Are they sponsoring a racing team? Are they spending millions of dollars on office space? Are they spending millions of dollars on employees? That's overhead. That's overhead, and that doesn't come out of their pocket. That comes out of your pocket as a distributor. Carl, go ahead, buddy. Sorry.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. What I wanted to touch on is a lot of these social networks that we work on. They're really great networks, but they have the top person getting paid for everybody's advertising.
You're damn right they do.
Google and Twitter and whatever, they're getting paid for what they do. They don't even have to do anything to step back and say, oh yeah, you can post on my stuff, no problem.
Yeah.
But what I touched on earlier was a little bit about the auto ship requirement on a customer that's just coming in. That's such a strain on. It was on my friend.
Yes.
My friend, in the end, I felt like I should give him something because he received products he couldn't use.
Exactly.
Being very nice. And I kind of feel guilty because you couldn't use them. So I gave him a pair of speakers that cost me $30, and we squared up as friends on that.
Right.
But it was required to do that auto ship or get a fee.
Yeah.
And that puts such a strain on your first customers. They're saying, well, why do I want to obligate myself for 3 consecutive months on a product? Why would I? And then why would I want to join where it's a requirement that I got to tell all my people that I put in there, they got to do the very same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, more or less, that is scam.
Yes,
More or less, that is scam.
Yes, it is. And here's another
because the
thing.
people aren't aware what they're getting themselves into, and they don't
Hmm.
out of it.
Yeah.
And that's all. I was only in it like a month, and I
Yeah.
says, how do I get out of this, Max? How do I get out of this? I can't do an auto ship. I can't afford that.
Yeah. And why don't you tell the viewers about It Works' as no refund policy? Tell them about that, Carl. How wonderful was that for you to find out?
That was
For you to
horrible.
find out that there was no refund policy.
That was horrible. I had to get a hold of Tiana. Is that her name?
Yeah, yep, TN, yep.
She gave me a site in which I could post those kind of things to sell products on of those, because
Yeah.
they didn't refund
Nope,
nothing.
they don't. Nope, they don't.
And so therefore, that doesn't work. That comes into scam. Now we got a business now that we're in, doesn't do that. Not required to have an auto ship. Not required to have your back office running all the time. You know, and we get a chance to build our team before we actually have to worry about how we're going to get money, because it's not costing us anything.
Yeah,
If we're not running a back office and we're not doing an auto ship, it's not costing us anything.
that's right. That's right.
But when you got a mandatory on a customer that they have to do an auto ship, they're saying, hold on a minute. Why would I want to join something that is making me have a mandatory auto ship?
Yeah,
Why
you're
would I?
totally right. Yeah, that's right.
Can I
That's
touch
right.
on that?
Yeah, of course, Doug.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm everything's freezing up here, but yeah, I'm in the health and wellness business myself, so I'm a little familiar with this. And one of the things, and I've seen other ones, and I've gotten with a different one myself. One of the things that if you, for one, if you have the product can be sold to the customer without any kind of auto ship, that makes them a customer. Okay, if they have an auto ship attached to the business opportunity, that's not so bad. It's not necessarily a scam. It's just that keeps the system rolling. You know, as long as you're getting value out of the product that they're requiring you to buy once a month. And most of them, you know, if you're in any kind of a good program at all, then the value of the product is what keeps you there anyway. So that's helpful. But one of the things I learned, especially in the health and wellness field, is even though you probably, you know, your company promotes their product as the best thing ever, you know, and they all do, and there's a lot of good products out there. Some are better than others. But even in the companies that have a really fantastic product, and the upline people are wonderful, and the company is wonderful, it takes care of everybody, you know, incredibly well, good compensation program, the whole 9 yards. One of the things you find is that the top money earners in the company and the people that you know are the movers and the shakers in the company, they almost always, and I'm not even trying to disparage them in any way for this, because I love our uplines in this company I'm in, but even they always try to get you to promote the business op. And it's because because their joy and excitement, because besides what the product does for people, is the fact that they're able to help people to change their financial situation. And I understand that. And it would be, believe me, it's awesome. Anytime you can change somebody's financial situation, it makes you feel fantastic, because it's a big deal. But the same token is that they get so caught up in that, I think, sometimes, that they forget that you can't bring, I mean, for every 10 people you bring in on the business op, you're going to lose 9 of them because they can't do the business op part. Even if they love the product, they're going to drop that because they didn't make money. And that's one of the things, and again, even my own upline promotes that, because that's what got them where they are, and they're making great money, and you know, and helping a lot of people, and nothing wrong with that. But I've personally gone to the other side of it. I promote the product and what it can do for them before I ever touch on the business opportunity. Because same thing there. People, you can tell people, I've got what will help you, and 9 out of 10 of them, even if they say, "Oh, great, that sounds awesome," they're still not going to ever do anything with it. And that's just the way people are. But for that one person that comes back and tells me, "Wow, man, I've been using your product for 30 days or whatever, and I feel fantastic," that's the person that I'm going to turn around and say, "Hey, we do have ways for you to get your own product for free. We have ways for you to make money with it. Is that something you're interested in?" And at that point, they already love the product. So if they say no, great, I've got a customer. If they say yes, then I've got somebody that's already excited about the product before they ever even look at the business opportunity. And what you were saying, Chris, I've been in this business for 2 years. I do not have a big downline. I'm not making all the bonuses and everything because I was on the road a lot and didn't do a lot of promoting. But what I do have is about 30 or 40, 50, 60, I don't even know how many, actual every single month repurchase all the time from the same people that I talked to a year ago and got interested in it. Because the product is so good that the people that actually use it never get off of it.
See, and that's cool because that means that's a good company because people in it were getting inconsistent results. My customers were getting inconsistent results. That body wrap is the biggest load of crap I've ever heard in my life. I used 3 of them and they did nothing.
Never bought in.
My mom used them and they worked okay for her. But when you're in a company that says guaranteed results in 45 minutes, you damn well better be delivering those results to people. That's false advertising right there. That whole slogan that It Works has about that body wrap is BS. It doesn't work in 45 minutes.
Doesn't it?
It doesn't work for everybody. Sure as hell didn't do anything to my skin.
Well, that's scam. That's scam right there. If it don't do what it says, that's scam.
I used it. It didn't work for me. But in the interest of not just bashing one, I mean, granted, I was in It Works, not a big fan. But in the interest of not keeping this like secular with companies, you can mention companies if they're bad, but really what I think the problem is with all of these opportunities, even though some are legit, is they do not give you an opportunity, or they don't tell you to brand yourself. Like we're branding ourselves as what we do. We have Doug, who's doing his thing, and Luciano has his thing. We're branding ourselves as the Power Hour, but you have to, and this is from Steve Pavlina's blog. He's a famous blogger. I think to really succeed online, you have to stand out, and you have to add your own unique value to the world. I mean, that's fundamentally what I think every successful person does. They have their own system, they have their own website, they're adding value. I also endeavor to say they have their own book or their own coaching program, and that's what makes people go, "Oh, okay, I like working with this guy, he's unique." I was in a system where we were branding somebody else's book, and I didn't want to do that. I'm like, I'm going to write my own books. I'm going to have my own websites, my own membership websites, and my own ideas, my own show ideas. Because it's just like music. If someone said, and I see Luciano and me have our guitars, if someone said you're just going to play cover songs, if my drummer or my singer said we're just playing cover songs, I'd quit tomorrow. Not if they said, we can play one cover song, like, okay, yeah, I'll play one cover from like a band I like. But essentially what you're doing online, if you're promoting just someone else, you're playing cover songs. Everybody knows who Aerosmith is if you play. But if you play an Aerosmith song and you play your own thing, if you take some ideas you've learned from other people and play your own music, you're much more fundamentally going to get recognized and make an impact. So that's
exactly.
It's not necessarily going to save you from.
Yeah,
but you can't scam yourself. The easiest way not to.
Yeah, and I wasn't trying to bash any company. I was just giving examples of companies making product claims, and that if companies are going to make product claims, they have to be real, and those product claims have got to be true, or they can run into all kinds of problems. with their distributor base and customer base.
I wasn't trying to bash it either.
No, we weren't.
Oh, okay. The thing is, though, they should put it out there if it's a general purpose product. It's like, now I know Rick, where he's been in the medical field, you know, if they want to put on these particular things that it's for the general public, that anybody can use it. Because when they start putting it that, oh, it'll work good for everybody, that becomes also right back to scam, because my friend couldn't use it, whatever particular, because it had soy in it. I didn't know it, he didn't know it. But the point is, it wasn't made with a customized plan. You know, it wasn't geared around that particular individual. And that's what really, really sells businesses, if they're geared to please the people. It's just like if you walk into a supermarket or whatever, you're their customer. They need to make sure you're pleased when you walk through that door. And the same thing with music. You have people out there, they're listening to your music, they like it, they clap, they sing, whatever, you know that you got applause, you got some recognition, that they liked it. Now, as with any business, people they like, know, and trust, or they won't do business with the person. And it's also the product, too. You got to like and know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
Because when I did that to my friend, it gave him irritable bowel syndrome.
Wow.
Now, I didn't know, I didn't mean to hurt him, but it was what it was.
Well, it wasn't your fault, dude. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
No, it's not my fault.
But I want to make a
but
point on
nonetheless.
Yeah, go ahead, Green.
Here's a point I want to make, though. Even if you're selling bars of soap, which I think Amway does, so I'm not against mentioning companies, but even if you're selling bars of soap, let's say, who do I like? Let's say, who's a famous band? Aerosmith, Van Halen, Led Zeppelin, they're not still around. I'm trying to think of a famous band that, let's say Slipknot says we're going to, buy these bars of soap. Their fans would do it, or at least some of their fans would do it. See, the fundamental thing is, if you build your own, I don't want to say your own world, but if you build your own sense of value, your own books, your own following, your own ideas, or at least your ideas expressed differently. Tony Robbins would be a good example. If he said, get this book, and I say, get this book, same book, most people get his book. Why? Because he's taken the time to make his brand, make his life coaching, make his own version of what he calls his entrepreneurial career. So that's what I'm urging you guys to do on the power. After you get off the Power Hour, Doug has his Health Explosion website. We have the Power Hour. I also do public speaking. Make your own website, make your own blog or vlog or your own form of value. There's WordPress, there's YouTube. There's really not an excuse anymore, I think, to make your own stamp, to brand yourself, and that's what'll save you most from being scammed. And if you're in a legit opportunity, that'll make it work. Because people will say, man, I follow Kareem. He's selling bars of soap? Yeah, I'll get bars of soap. He's selling cow manure? That's fine. I could use it for my farm.
Or garden, yeah, sure. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, you got to make sure that you're doing something on that brands you as an entrepreneur, and that makes you stand out. That's why we got this show, and that's why we're writing books together and stuff. And I'm interested to hear from Rick, because Rick has a lot of insight into these kinds of things. Rick's been in the network marketing field for a long time, and I want to know what types of things he's come across. If you didn't already mention it, I wasn't here when you did talk about it, Rick. So why don't you touch a little bit more about some of the things you've come across in your career, or from being in network marketing? What are some things you've seen, and what are some ways that you could tell our viewers to educate themselves?
Our viewers what?
To educate themselves.
I really like where the position that you guys are coming from. Like, if I would have known what Kareem just said, like 20 years ago to brand myself and to make myself stand out. I made myself stand out on the internet enough, get noticed. But I think it's a good thing because Cheryl and I have always wondered, like, how, like, I always worked on the internet by myself, and then we always wondered, how would we brand ourselves as a couple and go out there, and what would we do actually? And I know that's not the subject that you asked.
No, that's
me.
cool, bro. That's cool.
But I did touch on some scammy things, the Nigerian one, and
What's that all about? I've never heard of that, Rick.
yeah. But I guess I'll stay on the branding because he got me interested in that. And like, we have a blog it's called Listen to Soul, and it's mostly. And we got that before we got in the Pay Me What I'm Worth program. And of course, when I met Soul, I said, "Oh, I have $1 million domain. I'm done on the internet. I'm selling this to Soul. Listen to Soul." Right, so, that's what I thought. No, I'm kidding. But so we're branding ourselves that way, in a way, and we felt like our whole message was that you should get in touch with the real. Your inner self, your soul, or something like that, and listen to it. That's why I bought that domain, and that's why, we don't really say what the purpose of our branding issue is, but that was our general, message, or our theme, or something like that. But
and how long have you been working online, Rick? How many years?
I started working online in 1995, and I started making my first 90 days. Because I started providing a service to the network marketing industry, and then I started creating leads for the network marketing industry. And back in '95, like it was very different environment that we see now on the internet, and people really didn't want you to use the internet to make money, which all of us knew that, hey, this is going to be a scraper. We're going to be able to make money any different way. And we made a lot of our income from eBay and Amazon and Craigslist, and selling other people's things, really, like in affiliate marketing.
Okay.
Thousands and thousands of dollars doing that.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
That's what we really did. And actually, we didn't even hardly know any of our customers. We used SEO, Craigslist, and eBay for like how many years?
Oh gosh, a lot of years.
I don't even know.
Wow.
But that was the crux of our income when we couldn't provide a service to the network marketing industry anymore the way we had previously been doing it. And then we really never found a way that we could continue to provide the service that we were providing, lead generation. So from there, we worked for Yahoo.
Yahoo was big, okay, because Yahoo's like basically non-existent now that Google's around. Google's gonna buy everything, so
Right.
Google has these now. Like, this is a Nexus 5, guys, for all you viewers out there. Google owns my phone. Well, I own my phone, but Google's making phones now. I mean, this is unbelievable, and this is an amazing phone, by the way. If you want a good phone that's region unlocked, you can take anywhere in the world, get a Nexus. They are the best for
Should I start playing
worldwide
this
use.
game?
I mean, Google is just, they got their hands on everything, Google. And I mean, that's incredible, because we know that Google is so versatile. But here's something I found out about Google the other day. They're actually, you don't have to, they're doing, it's some partnership they had with YouTube, and now they're changing some YouTube policies where you don't have to be signed into Google Plus to make a comment on a video, or to upload videos. You don't have to even have a Google account, you just have to have a YouTube account. So they are separating the two again. So that's going to be okay. A lot of people were complaining about that thing that you had to have a Google Plus account before you could comment on videos or whatever. But the fact that Google is such a giant now, when they started out as a search engine, I mean, that's incredible. I mean, they've even got appliances. You guys ever heard of Google Nest? Do you know what that is? It's a device you put inside your house, and it's voice command. You can talk to this thing, and it'll turn on your heat. It'll turn on and off your heat, turn on and off your stove. It'll turn on and off your electricity, like your lights and everything. I mean, that's insane, and it's Google. I mean, holy, like that's freaking crazy what Google's doing. But that's an example of a company that is giving value to people. Otherwise, they wouldn't be as big as they are. Am I right, Rick?
Yeah.
I was looking at Google Smell. Have you seen Google Smells?
No,
Oh,
what's
God.
that?
Oh my God! I mean, it'll blow you away. They're
Check
actually
that out.
able to transmit smells over your computer now.
Oh,
Any computer.
smells. Google
It's
Smells.
experimental program.
Wow.
They're ionic wave through your computer, and that you actually smell the pizza or something.
Wow.
It's a trip.
That
Google,
is
yes,
a
I
trip,
agree with you.
man.
Google is unbelievable.
They are.
Nice.
Go ahead.
Can someone invite John Connor on the next Power Hour so he can help us when they take over?
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
I'm like ready to hear the dun. I'm like, man, I better go to the range after this, like hang out, like. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll kill you, stupid machines. You will not take over humanity.
But that's where it's going, because some people are getting so lazy nowadays, Kareem, that they rely on these things now. And,
Like the robots in McDonald's. That's gonna freak me out. I'm going like
I
Mickey
know, and there's two of them in Arizona now that are run completely by machines. Other than the people in the back, there's still people in the back cleaning and stuff, but when it comes to taking orders and getting your order ready, that's all done by machines. People come in to clean and stuff still, but as far as like making the food and taking your order, no, that's all machines now.
No good. As long as they don't start playing metal, then I'll start shooting them.
Yeah, that's really gonna piss me off too, man. I'd be like, no, that's not cool, man. But no, I mean that's a prime example of a company that started off as a search engine, and because they were innovative and they found ways to market their products to people who would need them, and they found practical needs for their product. And that's the key to being successful in a company. Your products have to have a practical need that has to be filled, that everybody can enjoy. And it sounds like Doug's in a company that's providing that with his health stuff, which is really cool, because I sure as hell wasn't. And I'm really proud of you for that, Doug. That's good, because there's so many health companies that promise all these results, and they're just full of, So, I mean, that's good, Doug. Anyway, you want to add something? Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, just what Kareem was talking about, branding yourself. Who doesn't know Google?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the world, who doesn't know Google? There's a tribe in the jungles of, Venezuela somewhere or something. But
yeah.
Hey, let me touch on something I don't think anybody's talked about yet.
Go ahead, man. It's yours.
We're talking about scams and pretty much
and hype, Yeah.
Right. And one of the things that you have to, I guess it's a good idea to be aware of when you're dealing with this, because several of us obviously have been hyped and scammed before, and it's real easy to get jaded. It's really easy to get callous to where you don't want to accept people or trust people at their word anymore. And again, you have to be discerning to a point. But at the same token, I don't ever want to step out and not, be willing to put myself out there and connect with people and build those relationships just because there's a possibility that there's a scammer amongst them.
That's true.
You have to protect yourself, but you don't want to put up a wall so thick that it impedes you either.
That's true. Yes.
And really, as long as you are dealing with integrity, and and obviously associating with people that are also dealing with integrity, you're not going to have this problem anyway. And pretty much, if you're always dealing with integrity, it's going to be really hard for somebody that doesn't have it to slip in on YouTube.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
That's it.
Cool. Go ahead, Rick.
I'm trying to say that I've been really impressed by the younger entrepreneurs that
Yes.
like Chris and Luciano and Kareem, and they have it really together. When I was that age, I didn't have that mentality that they have, and I didn't have the insight, or did I have the drive. I mean, these guys are going places. I'm 57 years old now, and these guys are way, way ahead of me. From when I look back at myself at that age on the internet, these guys are at the plate and they're runs. So I'm really impressed, but I appreciate Lucy coming on here.
I have something. Hey, I was going to tell you something. I don't know if you know the story about Sam Walton, the guy that actually put together Walmart. I think he actually ended up developing that at a very old age. And I think that also happened for the guy that actually was doing McDonald's. You know what? It's not a matter of only age. You know, it's a matter of what is your path.
Yes.
I was reading. I love this book. It's called Wealth Dynamics. Basically, this author, what he does, he actually breaks down every single kind of personality, and he categorizes into eight profiles. And he says that a mechanic, then this is the definition of a mechanic, it's in the book, but it doesn't matter, but a mechanic typically actually ends up striking gold at a later age than what any other profile does, because that's how the wheel goes around. So it's very interesting to see that that it's not a matter of it's like, oh well, young kids are doing amazing things. It's like, yeah, actually old people actually are doing very interesting things too. If you hear what talking about Google, Ray Kurzweil, this is a guy that he's 60, 70 years old, and I think maybe even more. I don't know exactly, but this is a guy that he strongly believes that in like 30 years we're going to have the possibility of downloading consciousness into a hard drive. He basically went ahead and decided to start taking pills to go ahead and extend his life until that technology comes available. And when that technology strikes, he's just going to go ahead and live on forever. Weird concepts, things that maybe you might agree with, morally, non-morally, doesn't matter. But that's what that guy is doing, and he's old as he can be, and
Nice to meet you, Luciano. I'm glad you're speaking up this time. Were you having technical difficulties last time you were on?
No, I think I passed out. Hey, oh my God! It's like today I look like I'm not with all my. I need to get my ducks in a row. I went out together with some friends yesterday and just had a blast. But you know how it goes on the following day, right? And this is the following day.
Lots of drinking? Or
No.
Oh, yeah, right.
You see, we don't drink. Kareem, do you ever drink?
I used to be pretty crazy. Now I went straight edge, which is
Yeah.
probably a good thing because I'm crazy at the show.
Straight edge? That means just vodka all the time?
No.
Yeah.
No, Kareem doesn't drink at all. I drink too, so I know what you're saying, Luciano. I'm a musician as well, so yeah, it's definitely that's the thing about musicians. Not all of us like to drink alcohol or do drugs. So I mean that's definitely a stereotype that doesn't apply to all musicians.
Oh no, totally. I'm kidding. It's like it's.
No, I know. It was nice to meet you, though.
Oops. There you go.
Okay. Where are you from, Luciano?
Argentina.
Nice.
But I'm in the U.S. I'm actually close to your city. I'm in Moscow. So we should.
No, I'm in Brandon, Manitoba, Canada, dude.
Who said that was in Lewiston?
I live in Lewiston. You live in Idaho.
Oh.
Moscow, Idaho, right?
Yeah. So, but you're in Lewiston, Idaho, right?
I live in Lewiston, Maine.
Oh.
I live in Lewiston, Maine. I like it.
Oh yeah.
But my hat's off to you. I wish I had the knowledge that you and Kareem and Chris have in my in my earlier years, just like what Rick said. He's 57 years old. He wishes he knew that what you know back then. And I mean, we all do. Really, we do. We all wish that we would have started in a different path a little bit sooner. And so my hat's off to you. If you're doing good in it, hey, more power to you. Really. Great.
Sorry,
Crazy.
Luciano,
Yeah.
I muted you.
20-foot Hawaiian wave. Doesn't that make
Yeah,
sense?
sorry. I muted Luciano just because there was a bad echo, so you're going to have to unmute again, Luciano, if you'd like to speak. Go ahead, Rick, sorry.
Sorry about that, Chris.
No,
Sorry about that. I was saying that craziness for me is riding a big Hawaiian wave. I
There
saw
you
it
go.
when I was in my 20s because I couldn't surf when I was a hangover. I think that's it.
Well, I guess you could, but you don't want to get, you don't want to be out there all drunk because you get really hurt. But there's a lot of surfers that that definitely probably get nice and half cut before they get on that surfboard. I'll tell you that much. That's definitely possible.
I have to disagree, man. I've worked at the top of 2,000-foot towers when I was still hungover and that, so, yeah. And I survived. Come on, guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched Carrot Top as a kid.
That was random.
That explains a lot.
I couldn't think of anything extreme. Like, I don't know what I've done other than I've jumped in some huge waves. I wasn't surfing. I had a boogie board, if that counts.
What's a boogie board?
It has the same function as a surfboard, but you just glide in instead of stand up.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's cool. Right on. Right.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to go ahead and leave you. I have something to do in like 5 minutes. But nice talking to you guys this
Yeah, come
time.
back.
Yeah, next Saturday, right?
Yes, sir. Next Saturday.
All right, rock
Right
on.
on. Take care, brother. You have a good
Hey,
day.
rock on, man. Good meeting you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Luciano.
Nice
Metal.
to meet you.
He's a
See you
good guy.
later.
I'm glad he was finally able to speak up. That's really cool.
Oh.
That's really
That was
cool.
awesome. That was awesome. Really was.
Yeah. So, do you guys have any? I mean, what are some other things you've seen out there, Rick, that you would tell people to keep an eye out for? Some BS con artists. I'm sure you've seen a lot more than I have. I mean, you've been around a long time with all this, Rick and Cheryl. I mean, what are some of the craziest things you've seen, and what advice do you have for our viewers about these con artists? Because I know I touched on a lot of it, but I'm looking to you now because you've been around for such a long time, and doing this for such a long time. What are some things you would tell our viewers to keep an eye out for?
I think that you and Kareem touched on a lot of things, and you were really you're a really ballsy guy to really say the truth about a network marketing company that you were in, and that you were highly trained in, and that you had a lot of support in. That that you have a high level of respect and ethics. So, I found out that I have to watch out for the people that aren't real.
Yes.
I would sign up, after I got to know you, Chris, I know that you're not going to pull my leg or BS me about stuff. You're going to tell me straight up, hey, my mom likes this, but nobody else does. If you should try it, you would like it too, okay? Now that kind of interaction from people, takes all the scamness away. I'm not worried about, anything. I trust you to that effect. That I know if I tell Chris this, he's going to tell me that, I'm full of crap and I shouldn't sign up for this because he knows better, okay?
Yeah.
So, the main thing is the people I find out that, there's some people that believe in these scams. They make money at them, and their friends are too. So, but they're not straight up with you. They're always calling you up, trying to sign you up, just like you were saying. They're recruiting machines. They always want you to do something for them, but they never really have contributed to you anything. That's the main thing that I find, that sort of like, I don't want to call them leeches, but there's a lot of people that just want, and they don't want to contribute, just like you were saying. I think that's the biggest thing to watch out for, because that's what catches me. Like, I see the goodness in everyone, and a lot of times I get punched in the face with it, because people, like, yeah, I know I'm like that, but I see really good in every person I see. That's the first thing I see. So I sort of have to go, I have to look around and see what the hell's going on with them to see past that. Other people see the negative in people as soon as they're approached by it. They say, oh, that guy's, I'm not never buying anything nutritional from him. He's an old, bald, fat dude. What is he?
Yeah.
Right? That's the same thing. That's what I thought when I was confronted with the company that you were talking about. I'm like, hell no. That's just not signing me up for anything nutritional. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, are you really serious?
Yeah.
Why would you? Now, if you came up to me with like that, I'm like, dude's smart. He's up front. He's his own self. Look at him. He's a rocker. I'm like, I'm gonna listen to him. Carl too. Kareem too. The more I listen to Doug Doherty, I go, wait a minute, this guy makes sense. He makes sense. He has built it with customers. Just like you said, 85% of your downline is going to be customers, and the rest is going to be distributors. Those are the kind of guys you got to look for. All the rest of them, I cut them off.
Well, I mean, think about it. How healthy can somebody be if they're like some big, huge fat guy who's selling health products? He's obviously not taking them, for crying out loud.
Wait, don't judge. He could be a sumo wrestler. I don't want to throw that out.
You might want to.
Well, it's just you get a judge out every time when that happens. If you're not in better shape than me, and if you're not more active than me, then I judge. I'm gonna judge right away and go, oh, wait a minute. If you're my age and you have more hair than me, and you're taking a supplement that made your hair grow back, I'm like, maybe so. But
Rick, I'm your age, actually. And I have hair. Would you like to buy some stuff from me?
I'm a bit that way,
It's like you go out and sell something to replenish your hair, but you're sitting there bald. I guess you didn't use it for yourself for something, or on that line, That's the funny thing. I think with scams goes a lot of mistrust that people put out there, and you're right. You did touch on that base that they didn't touch on, the trusting of people. It's like when I first joined network marketing, there was this gentleman, and it cost almost $300 to get in. He was willing to waive that money because I had a burning desire. I should have noticed it right off the get-go. He wants to help me with something that's cost $300 because I got a burning desire to succeed. Now, how does he know I might have that burning desire, but what if I didn't take action? Without the action, the burning desire is nothing, right? So, being that said, I was calling lead day after day after day until my throat was sore. And I would tell him, I'm not getting anywhere. Oh, just call these leads. I know you're going to get. And he just kept playing me the hype game for 2 years. It cost me, in the end, because it was in the utility thing, he wanted me to go out and buy a Nexus 4 phone that had limited service to do business with. I used up the minutes. It cost me big dollars. I lost my shirt out of it right off the get-go because, you got to be customer qualified, so you got to use these products to be customer qualified. I mean, you got to have, switch your lights over. Well, it's not in your state, so you can't do that. You got to switch over your Time Warner. Well, it was in somebody else's name. My bill was whatever. Doesn't matter. I couldn't use most of it to get customer qualified. So I wound up getting a cell phone that I never used, only but maybe a month, and it cost me more. I got a $600 bill out of the deal. So that being that said, it was so easy to fall into that scam. I didn't know it was a scam. He made it sound so real. When you make it sound so real, it's so easy to believe. You know, I mean, he put trust in me that I didn't have trust in my own self. And that's where he went at fault. And it's just like, not naming the Amway business, but when I first started in the Amway, that was just before that. I didn't really do much. I did draw the circle, show the plan, went to many webinars, bought the tapes, whatever, tried to train myself, because that's what they said you do. Well, in the end of the storyline, I got the board and easel. I didn't get any people sponsored. Nobody bought my products. And so it just faded away. I couldn't afford to keep going and buying tapes and going to seminars, and it was just a cost that I didn't make any money. I can't very well pay money I didn't make. So that's basically what has happened with some of the companies recently. I get into one, I was in it a month, I lost my shirt. So I joined another one, and this one here I believe in. But the other one I didn't believe in. So I think it all comes back to believing the person's hype story. That's what I think. I think of it all. That's my take on it. People put a hype story on everything if they want to sell it. It's like, you want to go sell your car, you're going to say, oh, that's the best running car that runs down the road. I guarantee you it'll drive across the United States. I guarantee that. You can guarantee an old vehicle won't break down from point A to point B. No, you can't really, but you put a hype story on it so people believed it. So that's what I think scams are. They come from a hype.
Yeah, it's definitely over-exaggerated claims, and the key is not to belittle anything, but to find that middle spot where you don't belittle, but you don't hype something up, but you're just honest about it. And if you're authentic, generally people, I don't go and say like, "Oh, I'm making $1 million in the Power Hour," you know, come on, I'm the best person alive to do it. But I do make people know this is my dream, and one day it's going to be huge, and right now it's in its infancy. So it's not hyping something, it's not saying what it is, but it's going at the angle that I'm here now, or I have this car now, one day I will make it a great car, or one day I have faith it'll be a great product, service, whatever it is you're doing. You have to kind of believe in it before it gets there. And that's a crazy key to business and personal fitness I teach people.
Yep, I agree. I agree. So Doug had this a good idea that he wants to start a something he'd like to do at the end of the Power Hour is a list of things that he learned, and I think that's a really good idea, and he could bring that to the table if he'd like. Totally for that. Doug?
Okay, things I've learned on the Entrepreneur Power Hour with Doug Doherty. I got this already.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's... Okay, so today we've learned that scams aren't always just for money products; they're also for information. So be careful and research different sources when you're trying to find out something. We've learned that it's better to promote a product over the business opportunity. We've learned that Rick has lived just about everywhere, and he's kind of hard to live with, and he might be willing to sell a surfboard. We've learned that Chris likes to show up late and blame it on his internet connection.
Oh, I love
got
it.
you there.
Come on.
It happened, though.
We've learned that it's a good idea to brand yourself.
That was great.
We also learned that it's a good idea not to get calloused, and just because you've been burned before, don't give up. We've learned that Nigerian princes lie a lot. Let's see, what else do I have here? We've learned that Kareem and Luciano could do dueling banjos or dueling guitars on here for us if we get a chance.
Yeah, we'll make a power hour music.
And we've learned that Cheryl sits in the background, but she apparently is pretty easy to live with because Rick sticks with her. So that's about all I found today.
That's good, man. I like that. That's good. That's good. All right. Well, I want to thank all of our guests for being here today. You guys' contribution has been incredible. Kareem, you have any closing thoughts you'd like to add?
I just want to thank everybody, Doug, Luciano. I know Daria came on, but she didn't say anything. Al Piddington came on. I want to thank him. Chris, Rick and Cheryl, as always, thanks. Your dedication is amazing, and thank you very much, Carl. Doug, this was a lot of fun. I was actually thinking of closing by showing our site and sites again, because I have a good bit of it developed now.
Go for it.
Okay.
Do
I'm
it.
just going to make a phone call here, so go for it, Kareem.
Do it.
I'm doing it. Give me 1 second here. For America. Okay. So, can everybody...
Your site looks just like you.
Yeah. Can everybody see my screen? I know.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm
that's
having technological difficulties. So we were doing this before, but I want to make a call to action because I always forget, and then I have like people yell at me. They're like, "Tell people to come here," and so I'm doing that. So my call to action is: if you go to the entrepreneurpowerhour.com, all one word, you can enter your first name and your email address, and I will send you a newsletter of what we're talking about and a video that either me and or Chris will make. There's also what is this about in case like you get attacked by a bear and lose your memory, because that can happen. So there's about us, obviously. Just if you have want to see on any of my other sites, read the crazy stuff I write about law of attraction. See Chris's site or email him. See his blog. There's this week's topic, in case you forget again. Like that's the one thing I want to make sure everybody knows. We have a poll, and if you have some extra time, say like, man, this was awesome, or it could have been better, or I didn't like it at all. And we also have some links, our YouTube channel, our Plus page, get paid what you're worth. This is a Kim Claver thing and personal development. We have a public, and I put my public speaking site on there. If you want to yell at us, or Doug wants to contact us with all the knowledge he's gained, you can do it here, name, subject, email address. And we also have, what we're doing on our Facebook thing. It's growing. Just broke over 1,000 subscribers. But here's what I'm really excited about. I'm working on a membership site. I'm going to give you guys all this for free. If I type it in correctly. So give me 1 second. Actually, maybe I'll do that later because I'm having issues with it still. But other than that, that is our site for the most part. So come on in, yell at us, have some fun, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome.
All right, guys.
Let's go.